Und zurück im Quartier, im Büro des Captains. Und der Captain möchte uns hier in Star Trek Resurgence der Crew vorstellen. Beziehungsweise eigentlich genauer gesagt, exakter, der Brückencrew. Und deshalb werden wir ihm da jetzt mal folgen. Was hat er hier nicht? Ist das der Denker? Passt. Ja, ist ähnliches. Schön hell hier oben. Der Teppich. Ah, hi. Grüß Gott, liebe Leute. Ah, wieder eine schöne Kamerafahrt. Also man muss sagen, so inszenatorisch bisher diese Kamerafahrten.
Everyone,
Gut.
if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer.
Hallo. Freue mich, Sie zu sehen.
Quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Like
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
oh, das ist schön.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Irma.
Genau, den kennen wir ja schon. Hallo.
Please do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous.
Okay, der Captain muss dringend auf die
The bridge is yours.
Basis. Oh, ich habe die Brücke. The bridge is yours. Oh, ich darf mich in den Captain's Chair setzen. Aber davor würde ich jetzt erstmal mich so ein bisschen umgucken hier. Okay, sie schwärmt so ein bisschen für uns. Ich finde uns ganz toll.
Tactical station. Hopefully, a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that,
Das ist aber so höhentechnisch für sie gar nicht so gut. Ne? Was sagt denn da der Arbeitsschutz dazu? Aber es sieht cool aus, muss ich sagen. Was bist du hier in der Station? Bist du unwichtig. Mal nicht angucken. Gut, kann man mal gucken.
so many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility.
Okay, ich würde mal sagen, wenn das da unten ein EKG wäre, würde ich mir echt Sorgen machen, aber es ist nicht. Ja, ne, sie sagt es schon. Und dafür ist sie jetzt verantwortlich. Communications.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Das ist quasi hier Lieutenant Uhuras Vermächtnis. So, dich kennen wir ja schon. Operations.
Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Irma.
Das ist quasi der Hausmeister, aber das ist ja wichtig, ne, dass jemand den Überblick behält. Oder? Jetzt gucken wir erstmal ein bisschen hier. Bisschen
Impressive
ausgucken.
range of view.
Oh, schick. So, du warst hier. Sie Tom Paris.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class. meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers.
Mhm.
Can't wait to see what she can do.
Also. Flottes Schiffchen. So, er war der Science Officer, ne?
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll
Der
have to
wirkt
speak
so ein
with him later.
bisschen distanziert irgendwie. Aber mal schauen. So. Dann, Kollegen. Tactical Holo.
Tactical holodias.
Was ist das denn?
Just like they've got on the Excelsior.
Okay. Schick. Ja dann, Begin Command. Ah, da sieht man aber schon. Ne? Der eine Stuhl, der hat schnieke Armlehnen und hier hinten Kopfstütze. Die hat der andere nicht. Und das sind auch nur 2. Viele kennen vielleicht noch von der Picard Enterprise diese 3 Stühle. Wo ja der erste Offizier saß, in der Mitte der Captain und dann daneben noch der Kanzler Troy. Aber ich bin quasi Kanzler Troy und der erste Offizier Nummer 1 in Person. Da braucht der Captain keine 2.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm.
Mhm.
We just need your go-ahead.
Ah ja. Also der hat jetzt angefragt, ich muss dieses Feld runterfahren.
Permission granted.
Lowering
Permission
structural
granted.
integrity field. Now.
Entering maintenance mode.
Wartungsmodus aktiviert.
Condition blue.
Blue. So, machen Sie jetzt einen Schwenk raus. Ah, Sie machen einen Schnitt.
The storm is getting worse.
Oh, der Sturm wird schlimmer.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Blom, blom, blom. Interessant ist natürlich, wo ist hier oben und unten, weil
Every
das ist
time we're out
relativ.
here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
Okay, wir gehen.
When I joined
Gleich Schritt.
Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
I am more than that. And so are you. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
Das ist ein interessantes Gespräch, was Sie da gerade führen eigentlich.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Okay, jetzt sind wir da, wo wir hin wollten. Ja, dann schauen wir uns das mal an. Es ist praktisch mit dem Koffer, dass der sich so festpappt, magnetisch. Okay, jetzt brauchen wir das Rekalibrierungstool. Das ist dieses hier, schätze ich.
Beginning recalibration.
Okay, wir müssen das jetzt irgendwie wieder in Gleichklang bringen. Und zwar da.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
Okay, jetzt müssen wir mal schauen. Okay, also den. Ah. Hä? Nein! Ah,
Looks good.
first try.
That wasn't so hard.
Ganz klar. Ja, das war gar nicht so schwer. Piep, piep. Was piepst denn da so?
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive.
Das ist ein bisschen sehr reserviert.
Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this
Er ist
bridge.
der älteste
I know
Offizier
this ship inside and out.
auf der Brücke.
Better than just about anyone.
You seem to think very highly of yourself.
With good reason. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Das hat irgendwas mit diesem Ring zu tun, wahrscheinlich.
You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Oh, das ist jetzt aber schon ein bisschen...
I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland,
schon ein bisschen
your
Spannung jetzt
predecessor, was one of the best
spüren.
first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest
Okay,
friends.
das letzte ist ein bisschen zu
So I
heftig.
can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
Jetzt mal so
I don't think
formulieren.
I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Okay, das
Seeing
scheint
as
aber...
Captain Solano is
Ja,
on the
ist ein bisschen
starbase, let me
neutral.
give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
Oh, das klingt nicht gut. Da ist was.
We've got a
Ooh.
massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Eine Energiewelle.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Estimated time to impact. 2 minutes.
Ja dann, Red Alert, roter Alarm.
Red alert!
Aye.
Es geht ja gleich gut los hier, ne? Komm, ist der Captain weg? Geht's hier?
Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting
Das ist
sensor
gleich dramatisch
visualization
hier.
on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Okay, eine
Shield
Minute.
systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
Unsere
I
Schilder
need
sind
every
nicht
available
oben.
solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the
Möglichkeiten.
storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave.
Das klingt logisch.
You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
Shields up.
That's right, which is why we need to send
Vor
power
allen Dingen, da
to our
sind ja
shields.
Leute auf
Petrosian,
dem...
get those shields up.
der
Rerouting
Hülle.
power to shields. Stand by. I need a
das
heading. We've only got one shot.
Gefällt mir jetzt
Understood.
natürlich mir,
On my command.
was ihre Idee ist. Boop, boop.
Heading locked.
Raise shields!
Ist eigentlich logisch, was sie sagt, ne? Es ist eine
This is
Bedrohung
it.
aus einer konkreten Richtung.
All hands, brace
Brace
for impact.
Auf Aufprall vorbereiten. Ja, das ist gleich durch hier. So, was macht der Warp-Kern? Bali, das klingt
We have
nicht gut.
experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Can you blow out every primary system on the ship?
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma
Das heißt, wir
regulator.
müssen noch weiterlaufen. Dramatisch. Von der Brücke zu den unteren Etagen.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
So, wir müssen die EPS-Dinger da manuell
Affirmative.
Engage
quasi
the override.
überschreiben.
It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Das ist schon schick gemacht. Ne? So. Nummer 1. Clock. Rip. Nummer 2.
Failsafe override engaged.
Okay.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Okay, jetzt müssen wir was umleiten hier. Wir müssen jetzt hier was rausnehmen, umstecken, oder? Ja. Zack. Darin. Und das kommt darüber, oder? Logisch. Alright. Danger.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS
Das sind
regulator.
quasi die Sicherungen, die wir da jetzt irgendwie umkalibriert haben anscheinend. Mal
Heads up,
gespannt,
Carter.
ob das was bringt.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
Okay,
It's
nicht
coming right toward us.
entladen.
I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Ui, Phaser. Phaser ausrüsten. Nehmen. Und... ui. Feuer. Ui. Okay.
So we gotta climb up the pylon.
Piu, piu, piu.
Not that there's really an up, but
Na, wir...
Genau.
Da sagt sie schon. Wir müssen da hoch. Oh, ob das jetzt wirklich hoch ist? Wie war das? Okay. Y. Ims. Ah. Okay. Aua! Oh.
are you alright?
Yeah. Still took most of it. Snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit.
Hat sich
Energy
angeschlichen.
making is down 60%.
Au!
Carter!
That hurt.
Do not get hit again.
Ich schieße gleich. Oh, Gottes Willen. Das ist ja hier Stress.
We're almost to the regulator.
Okay, Elfmeter. Komm. Junge. Zieh. 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 Oh. Ist ja hier.
We're at the regulator point. Opening the access panel.
Da hat man sich
Now
noch
halting the
beschwert.
EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Efficiently. Selbstverständlich. War sowas von effizient, meine Leute. So. Zack, zack. Und rüber. Und runter. Und ganz rum. Zack.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Okay. Ah. Ja, wir Okay.
EPS lines to the port
Hat
warp engine
funktioniert.
are back in balance. Almost
Jup, jup,
done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobot can...
Oh, das klingt nicht gut. Ah, das sind die alte Klammer. Ey, das gibt Lackschäden. Eieiei. Und war doch gerade erst in der Werkstatt. Ne? Oh, das sieht gar nicht so gut aus, sagt der Captain. Ja, kaum sind wir mal 2 Minuten nicht da. Schon. Wow.
Get down!
Uiuiui, das war knapp.
Here's the bridge. We just lost the docking clamp.
Offensichtlich. Oh, und es geht zurück. Das ist ja echt dramatisch
We've
hier.
got a lot of debris coming down. Hull vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The
Optionen?
docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
Ah, Explosive klingt nicht
We've
gut.
got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Okay.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now.
Okay. Ja, das ist
The
uns auch
damage
schon
to the
klar.
station will be catastrophic.
Aber wir haben da Crew
We have
draußen.
crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way
people
to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Boah.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an
Konflikt.
order.
Ich sehe den Konflikt. Ach du Scheiße. Aber es ist jetzt nicht so das
All due
Einfachste
respect, sir,
hier.
it's a more complex situation than when you
Jara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite
Quite
clear.
clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Nein, ich mache das mit der Polarität.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip
Oh,
hull
das-
polarity to disengage the clamps.
Ich
Yes,
widersetze mich ja quasi seine Anweisung. Aber ich werde nicht meine Crew aufs Spiel setzen. Es ist auch meine
Air
Crew,
crew,
nicht nur
this
die
is
des
Acting Captain
Captains.
Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking
Okay, was machen
clamps.
Sie jetzt?
Tether yourself and deactivate your boots
Ah,
on
sie
my
machen
mark.
sich fest. Das ist gut.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Oh. Gott sei Dank, es hält.
Grab my hand.
Oh, danke.
I got you.
Thank you.
Scheiße.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
Oh,
I got it.
oh. Zurück, zurück, hoch, 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 hoch. Ah. Ja. Ja, komm schon. Verdammt. Wo ist die Kollegin? Ah, komm. Es ist zu schwer. Oh, ich brauche mehr Kraft, mehr Kraft, mehr Kraft, mehr Kraft, mehr Kraft, mehr Kraft. Jawohl. Gemeinsam. Ja? Gemeinsam sind wir stark. Knacks. Okay. Na? Okay, es fühlt sich gut an. Aber es ist immer noch dieses Gewimmel hier.
Look out!
Oh. Ach du Scheiße, bleib da. Hui.
I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Oh,
Mr.
das ist
Diaz,
ja
the
sehr
situation
dramatisch
has
hier.
changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander,
Okay, also wir können nicht so zurück,
where
wie
we
wir
came
gekommen
is the
sind.
nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edsolar there to access the interior.
Okay, ja, dann...
Roger that. Go in there now.
What could possibly go wrong? Ah, da ist
I'm
die
at the
Klappe.
auxiliary hatch.
Ah, da ist sie wieder. Morgen. Alles wieder fit? Ja, nix wie Rennen. Renn da! Jetzt müssen wir alles mal wieder ölen hier. Ah, sehr gut.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time.
Ach nee, komm, jetzt geh rein.
No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Nein, du gehst zuerst.
Not on
Komm.
your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
So, jawohl. Ah, Scheiße, es kennt. Verdammt. Es klemmt. Ah! Ach du Scheiße. Schnittwerbung. Nein. Okay, Erzähler. Das hat jetzt natürlich unsere Beziehung schon irgendwie gefestigt. Aber dadurch sowas durchkommt.
We made it.
Ah, gut. Alles gut gehen. Na,
They're safe, bringing
lächeln.
the Sif fully online.
Okay.
Do it.
Make it so. Okay, Structural Integrity Field ist wieder online. Der Crew geht soweit gut. Keine Verluste, Gott sei Dank. Aber das gibt noch... Oh, The Price of Duty.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Let's get this off. Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter.
Ah, da muss er
You're
aber
like
schon mal
so
auf die
good.
Krankenstation damit. Da muss man schon mal gucken, ne? Möchte auch so eine Trage haben.
You gotta be more
Super.
careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet.
Oh.
Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Ja.
Great.
Auf die Krankenstation mit ihm. Aber er sieht ja noch halbwegs gut aus. Wird schon nicht so schlimm sein, hoffentlich. Aber ich glaube... Oh, ja.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion
klingt
some
doch
of the
gut.
staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Oh, das gibt als aber ein klärendes Gespräch, glaube ich. Ich habe nicht gemacht, was er gesagt hat. So. Also, Captain. Ich höre.
You disobeyed my orders.
Da.
Well,
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I
you
did what I thought was...
disobeyed my orders. And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Ja, aber er wusste ja nicht, um was es geht.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest. So here
Genau,
it
ich
is.
bin ehrlich.
Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order. But you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, Put your ego aside and trust your crew.
Oh, das ist jetzt aber schon eine sehr
Trust me.
ehrliche Ansage von ihr.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes.
Hmm?
So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir.
Okay. Das
I'm sure no one knows the burden of command.
muss man ihm jetzt aber auch anerkennen, ne? Dass er das so
I'm
sieht.
sure you will, someday.
Das ist schon schwierig für ihn, weil natürlich quasi so
Despite it all,
seine
we got our final Starfleet clearance to
Autorität ein
depart.
bisschen
So
angekratzt
if
wird
you'll fetch
dadurch.
Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Alles in allem ist es ja gut gegangen. Uns alle. Na, da wollen wir mal schauen, wie es jetzt weitergeht. Da hat sich schon
All
rumgesprochen.
departments
Ne?
reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Ja, wir warten ja noch auf unseren
Captain on the
hohen
bridge.
Diplomaten.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit.
Ja.
Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Ja, das war eine kurze, knackige Ansage. Kann man mitarbeiten. Ich
Docking
glaube, es ist
clamps released.
kein schlechter Typ, der Captain.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Vielleicht ein bisschen mehr Pike oder Kirk als vielleicht Picard oder Janeway. Das ist eine schöne Szenerie, ne? Also technisch, ja. Aber so von der Komposition finde ich es gut gemacht. Ah, okay, wow, das ist schon wie eine Serie. Ist die
That should do it.
Basis.
Set a course for the Hotari system.
toll.
Prepare to
Großes
go to warp
Rotary-System.
Aye, Captain.
You know what?
Ich
You
darf.
take this one.
Ich darf was sagen. Jawohl.
Me?
Do it.
Helm. Do it.
Ah. Engage wäre auch nicht schlecht, aber.
Nicely done.
Danke. Ah, Captain.
Easy.
Oh.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
Oh, das
You don't look so good.
ist los. Das ist mein. Oh. Oh, er ist rot. Das sieht nicht so
I
entspannt
have
aus.
to get to sickbay.
Go.
Jetzt schon.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Also wirklich von einem Drama in das nächste. Aber dass wir so schnell runtergegangen sind mit unserem, was war auch wieder Deuterium-Level? Okay, ist das Infusion, oder? Ah ja. Ja.
Well,
That was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
So
Is that
schlimm.
the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your duridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet
So treffen wir auch
and
mal
managed to thrive. I imagine
den
the
leitenden
responsibility
medizinischen
must be
Offizier.
overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
Naja, es ist halt... It is what it is.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake.
Da
My professional
spüre ich
opinion
auch
is
so
that the
einen gewissen
accident took a
Konflikt.
toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition.
I think after what happened, Captain Solano's learned his lesson. And whatever ambition he once had is on hold for a while.
He may say that, but you'll see what happens. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge.
Hat sich schon
It took
rumgesprochen.
guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around
Oh
here.
ja.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Und wieder fit. So ein bisschen Infusion machen kann. Oh.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were
Lieutenant.
okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
Okay. Dankeschön.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Now, Carter.
Ja, wie
The
geht's denn
missions
Carter?
that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronalin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing.
Oh.
She's come by a couple of times to see you already. Be brief.
Ja.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duval. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
So, be honest. How bad do I look?
You look... rugged.
Rugged?
Rugged.
Okay, how about heroic? Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse, leaving it unsaid.
It's okay,
Kannst offen
Miranda.
sein.
You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Then come on. Just spit it out.
I'm trying. Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
This is all kind of unexpected.
I didn't expect this either. But here we are.
Ich muss ja sagen, der Soundtrack dazu gefällt mir richtig gut, wie der sich so steuert. Das ist jetzt schon ein bisschen...
What do you think?
Schon ein bisschen überfahren hier.
I've been about as direct as I can stomach.
Oh, A ist schon friendzoned.
You can do that too. Be direct.
Ich bin unsicher.
That's a lot to think about.
I know it is.
So, maybe I should think it over.
Oh, yeah, take as long as you need. I get it. But don't leave me hanging.
Sorry to interrupt,
Okay.
but the patient
Eher
needs to
so
rest. If he wants to
neutral.
get back to his old self.
Of course.
Habe ich wohl eine
Get better.
Verjährerin hier?
And while you're resting up, think about what we talked about.
Gut. Doc wird mir bestimmt auch gleich einen Ratschlag geben, so wie die guckt. Er weiß es nicht so richtig. Was war das denn jetzt?
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Wow!
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Mit dem
Commander
Asteroidengürtel?
Find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain.
Dann schauen wir mal, wo er sich
Let's
rumtreibt.
reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
So, wo ist unser Shuttle? Da ist es.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer.
We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Voll. Traktorstrahl. Aktivieren.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Läuft.
Come on, Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Okay, wo ist es, das Shuttle? Da. So. Hup. Ach,
We're
komm.
pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Weg damit. Wir machen den Weg frei. Oh, so da. Oh, da kommt ein dicker Brummer. Eieiei.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Ah.
Commander
Wir
Ryder.
bombsen den weg.
Plot an intercept course.
Jawohl.
On it.
Weg mit dem Ding. So, das kommt so. Das kommt So. Da müssen wir hin. So, Intercept Course, light in.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
So, und...
Got it.
Easy.
Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Naja, hier wird überall ordentlich gearbeitet. So, Traktorstrahl und jetzt ein... Wie sie sich freuen. Ja, Mann! Super! Klasse! Großes Shuttle, aber da ist ja auch ein wichtiger Mann drin.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Ja, und wer ist da drin? Schnitt. Na. Es ist Bock.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Ambassador Spock.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Das ist eine gute Idee. Wie er schaut so, was mache ich jetzt? Ich stelle mich jetzt einfach mal ganz entspannt hin.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
Our arrival was the smoothest part of our journey. Your artistry with a tractor beam is commendable.
Ooh, commendable.
We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari's space. But it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
Ist gut gemacht.
Storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Er ist ja Vulkaniker.
I'd rather
Ich würd auch
investigate
sagen.
than speculate.
Genau. Eher nachforschen.
A sound principle.
Ja, das
Take
gefällt ihm
readings,
natürlich.
run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical. Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz.
Carter Diaz.
Thank
Mein Namen gefragt.
Ambassador Spock.
Kann man sich schon vorstellen, ne?
Excuse me.
Das ist auch in
I'm
dem
honored to
Universum,
have you
ne?
aboard.
Wenn
I'd
Botschafter
like to get right
Spock
to
einen
it.
da
We're
so
already
fragt,
behind.
denkt er sich, hey, ich habe gerade mit Ambassador Spock geplaudert. Schön, schön gemacht. Das ist natürlich wirklich Prominenz an Bord. Die Kamerafahrten sind echt gut.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
Ja, so, das sind die leitenden Offiziere.
It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Ja, wir brauchen ja so eine
Your
Erfahrung.
experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed. and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Also immer mehr Spannungen zwischen diesen beiden Parteien. Schauen wir mal, um was es da geht.
Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illidians have shared a mining operation there. The Illidians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illidians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illidian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war.
Das ist ein guter Satz.
And
In
as
der heutigen
such,
Zeit
this conflict will surely come again.
Neither the Illidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't
Hat auch
make
wieder
them
recht.
do
Also sie
anything.
sind nicht
There
Angehörige der
is
Föderation. Das heißt, man kann
an
sie quasi
additional
nicht zwingen.
complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
The Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Das ist die Frage, vertrauen die
That means
uns?
the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Illidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illidian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Oh, das ist ein guter Punkt, den ihr anbringt.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
Das ist auch verdächtig.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
Richtig.
That would also explain the Illidians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can.
Ist klar,
while
weil sie haben
we
ja
are here.
gesagt, die
We do not want to be
Elflotte wäre
caught
der
at a
anderen eigentlich
disadvantage
unterlegen,
of our
aber
own.
nicht mit diesem Sturm.
So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here
das
while we're
jetzt-
gone.
Aye, Captain.
Die
Thank you all.
ausgefeilteste
Dismissed.
Idee für ein Drehbuch ist. Kann man sich jetzt drüber streiten, aber es fühlt sich
I want to
sehr
speak to both of
trackig
you
an.
privately.
Fühlt sich wie eine gute Folge von Next
Ambassador
Generation,
Spock,
oder die
I'd
ist
like to
nachher
make a
Voyager.
formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do. in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Ryder could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this
Aber ich
case.
bin kein Diplomat.
It would be
Das würde ich Ihnen
unconventional.
jetzt vorwegschicken.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador. We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Da steht schon ganz schön was auf dem Spiel. Wow. Zack. Da kommen sie reingeschnallt. Ah.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
Ich bin jetzt mal frech.
I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
Commander Chovak, is there anything you do enjoy?
I take pleasure in the satisfaction of a job well done. I suggest you try it sometime. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
Was that a joke?
No, couldn't have been. It seems
Oh,
like
das
he's
gefällt ihm
warming up
leider
to us.
nicht.
Yeah.
Das war jetzt aber schon ein bisschen dreist.
Even Chovak has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Oh.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Okay, diagnostics.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. Yes or no, that's one thing. But I can't believe you said you needed to think about it.
I did need to think about it.
Well, you can't leave this unsettled. It's not fair to her. She was direct with you. Didn't play games. Neither should you.
Schwierig. Probier's mal so rum.
Well, honestly, I was worried you wouldn't approve of, you know, fraternization with...
Don't make this about me. You can see where this goes between you two, or you can stay friends. But don't screw this up. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from